20 minutes and I wasn't recording. That's really the worst. I recorded the audio, but not the video. Basically, I was about to show you guys this viral video of a groundhog that's been playing in my mind ever since I saw it all the time because I love groundhogs so much. And I basically was talking about NATO, and I was like, you guys don't really want to hear a woman's opinion on NATO expansion and like the Russia-Ukraine conflict, but nevertheless, I gave it to you. But I was going to give you a palate cleanser of a groundhog video that I love in particular because I really love groundhogs and because I've been getting visits from a groundhog every single day. Welcome back to the Ida Hour. And I also love watching Punxsutawney Phil during Groundhog Day every year. And he tells us the forecast and he reads his own shadow and he tells us if there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter or not. And then I kind of went into how George Kennan warned against NATO expansion in the 90s. And then even before that, even though he was the architect of the containment policy. And so if ever there were a diplomat to give you like a warning against, expanding NATO, it would be George Kennan. He would be the most qualified. The man lived to be like 101 years old, very handsome too. And he was a fantastic diplomat and foreign policy expert. And even Henry Kissinger, who I have true contempt for, even he warned against expanding NATO because I was saying before I abruptly cut it all off that I don't believe that this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict is about land or territory, because Russia has like the biggest landmass ever in the world. And so for them to be quibbling about the Donbass or Crimea, although they have said that they would stop the fighting if Ukraine gave up some territory, but then Volodymyr Zelensky says that no, it's unconstitutional of Ukraine to do such a thing, to give up any territory, so thus he can't, and his hands are tied, and so they're at somewhat of a stalemate or an impasse as far as that goes. Nevertheless, I don't even think that that's really the thing that egged Putin on, so to speak, to attack Ukraine. I think it was all about the threat of NATO expansion. So it really is a proxy war with the US in that sense. And it is a threat to expand NATO up to Russia's borders. I mean, it's insane. And to keep expanding is really the last thing that Putin wants. And so this is where he drew the line. And there's not going to be an end to the conflict seemingly anytime soon. But basically for the architect of the containment policy to walk back his own opinions in like the 40s and the 50s of saying that Russia's, communism needs to be contained through like the Red Scare, not the podcast, but the actual Red Scare, for him to say that actually this is a grave mistake and a true fatalistic error, which he wrote in a 1997 op-ed in the New York Times, going into great detail, and maybe not even that much detail, but it's short. Actually, you guys should read it if you can access it. But it basically just says why it would be such a terrible error for us to expand NATO. And we kept doing it. We kept doing it. We kept expanding. And that's weird. The camera just zoomed completely on its own. I didn't even touch that. Am I touching some sort of wire that would have it do that? That is bizarre. Okay. Is there a ghost in here? That was extremely weird, you guys. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's nobody in here but me. I'm shook. I am shook. My shirt says dazed and confused, but I am not dazed. I'm simply confused. I used to be dazed. I used to be blazed. But now, no longer. Yeah, so I was also saying you guys don't want to hear these opinions from a woman, so I should just kind of lead with the groundhog. But I really do think about this video a lot, and I really do love groundhogs. I think they're just such wonderful creatures. I love that they have these like very serious looks on their faces, like they're filing taxes, but they're like these cute little like loaves of animals, and they're like so Like they're taking care of serious business, you know? Oh yeah. And then I said also about the NATO expansion, sorry to be so ADD, but I was basically trying to lament that nothing came from the meeting of Trump and Putin. It was just extremely performative. It was just Trump like big dicking himself around Putin being like, look at our B-52 bombers that were going to fly over your head. And then he had the summit with NATO and Zelensky was there. And nothing came from that either. So it's just all around not good. That's all. It's just all around not good. Okay, let's play the groundhog. He is so sweet, you guys. I love this video. And this woman was so ungrateful. If I had a gift like this, if I had a gift like a groundhog showing up at my door, and I do have a groundhog. He hides under my car. He goes under there. He's so adorable. And I tried to feed him carrots once and he just like ran away. But regardless, if I had one that was cool enough to just show up at my door and be unfazed by my presence, whereas my personal groundhog, whom I love, he's very fazed by my presence. Like he doesn't want me going out, you know, he doesn't want me like trying to play with him. This one like shows up at the door and this fucking Karen, she just screams at him so ungrateful. It's so rude. Look how serious he looks. He's so chill and unfazed. I hate her. I really hate her. Yeah, top comment. Bro didn't even do anything. I know. It's honestly, it's incredible. I also want to show you guys this video, Scout. I don't know if you guys saw Scout on Twitter. Chase this bear. It was so wild. If I just type in Scout bear, hopefully it'll show up. Oh my God, so cute. I love Pomeranians. I really love them. I know you guys know that I used to watch Meester, my favorite little Pom. Look at this. Are we going to get sound on this though? Here we go. Look at this bear. It's like a baby bear, but still. Pomeranians don't fuck around. Look at this. Scared the shit. Look at the air it got too. Just scared that bear away. Oh, he's so cute.
Oh my God.
Loki, that bear is so cute too. I love bears.
Oh my gosh. Scout, come here. Come here.
Wait, how did that door close though?
Scout.
Did it jump over that door?
Scout, come here. Scout.
Damn, what a G.
Oh my gosh.
We just have to see that again. I want to pause when Scout jumps at him. Look at this. Hold on, can we just look at that? Like, are you kidding me? Look at the air it got. Skip like 3 steps, that little Pom. Oh, it's incredible. I love when videos like that are not AI. You're like, wow. So we still got something. We still out here. We still out here getting viral clips. Look at Scout. So cute. God, do I want a dog like that so bad. I just love Poms. They're so regal. Anytime I was walking around LA with Meester, who I featured him on the show several episodes back with John. I held him up like Simba. He bit me several times. He bit John several times. I think he nipped a few of us. He got Devin's dad really bad, like in the nose, like bled. I don't mean to laugh. It was like New Year's, and we were all so excited. We're like, Happy New Year! The fireworks. He was already freaked out, and just man, oh man, what a dog! I love Pomeranians. I really do. I think they're so sweet. Yeah, what a G. Anyways, so NATO, it's like, don't expand it. You know, we're already the United States of America. We already have so much power. Why do we need to just encroach all the time and threaten our position as the world power? I like the US as the leading world power, but I have to believe in it. I have to believe in it somehow. There has to be things that make me think that we should be the world power. And I always have, and I still do. But man, oh man, do we just constantly make it harder to have an argument. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, people are really up in arms right now about Cracker Barrel. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This tweet, like from End Wokeness, is going super viral today. Or says, Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Masino should face charges for this crime against humanity. And it's because Cracker Barrel went from this. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this photo. Let's make this bigger because my background is so great. Okay, Cracker Barrel went from this, you know, home country loving slop to this. Listen, I don't like when our like favorite places as children turned into this. I don't like that, but here's the real deal. None of those places should exist. First of all, there's real crimes of humanity right now happening, right? Being sanctioned by us, and End Wokeness, I'm sure, is saying nothing about that. Maybe they are, but how is your Twitter account going to be End Wokeness, your ex account? If Cracker Barrel changed their marketing to this, it's the least of their crimes. Their biggest crime is their need to make people in the country fat and give them heart disease and diabetes. Diabetes. It's like, why is this the issue? By the way, is this your idea of incredible interior design? Check yourself. Check your standards. Not for nothing. Maybe go on Architectural Digest and look at a few home tours. Maybe look into Frank Lloyd Wright. Maybe look into, you know, the Gothic era of architecture. Maybe look into real, true design. Maybe look into the minimalistic Scandinavian aesthetic or Japanese Zen gardens. Maybe look into the clean lines. Maybe look into contrast and color theory. This is not it. This is not the high point of America. Anyone who thinks this is the high point of America is exactly what's wrong with America. And I don't like Julie Masino because I don't like anyone who's heading this corporation. But frankly, this place shouldn't exist. The real crime against humanity is that the truck stop you have is Cracker Barrel. It's Cracker Barrel or it's Wendy's. And I'm not really going to speak ill of McDonald's because no matter what, I kind of just always love them. But that's the crime against humanity. And not for nothing, it's also like the 66,000 kids or people that are dying in Gaza with our tax dollars. That's a crime against humanity. Apparently, BlackRock invests in Cracker Barrel. There you go. Yeah, maybe Cracker Barrel is the issue, not the marketing spin around Cracker Barrel. This is what's wrong with America. People that create some nostalgia campaign for one of the most terrible restaurants. I've been to Cracker Barrel one time, and that was enough. That was one time too many. Okay, I went on my way when I was moving. We were on a road trip from Dallas to LA. We went to Cracker Barrel. It was terrible. It was a horrible experience. I even went to the gift shop. Not good. Not good. Didn't buy anything. It was like a place that was trying to charm me, and it wasn't charming me. It was horrifying me. I would just see fat country bumpkins walking around with their fucking pus-filled legs and their arms that could barely move like weeble wobbles, bouncing in and out of the place because their legs could barely move, just trudging along. Barely, I mean, they're about to die at any moment. And frankly, they've probably had many deaths there, and there's no hospitals around, you know, so they just die. Of course, BlackRock invests in them. Not every weapon against humanity is a fighter jet or a bomb. Sometimes it's a burger, and sometimes it's what is it? Chicken fried steak or some shit, or what is the thing? I think it's chicken fried steak. Ben would know. By the way, I meant to say in the last episode, Ben was correct about all the Epstein-Trump stuff. I meant to give him his due. I didn't. That's on me. When I did that live stream with Ivy and Ben, I addressed my tweet that Ben thought was shade being directed at him when I was saying that these people weren't going all in on Trump. And it wasn't actually about him. It was about different people. But I told him in the stream that it applied to him, even though it wasn't about him. I was wrong. I was wrong about everything with Trump. So credit to Ben. He was on the money. I have to say that. I have to walk that back because he was correct. Anyways, what was I about to look up? Damn, I forget. Oh yeah, they're also upset that the marketing went from this. Hold on, I'll show you. That's awesome. Release the files. Yo, I love that. Old country store. Yeah, they're upset that it went from this to this. I'm upset it exists. I'm upset Cracker Barrel exists. It should not exist. There should be a local mom and pop diner. What's unfortunate about that is that they all use seed oils too. That's okay. Support local business. So this is the old Cracker Barrel. Yeah, what an architectural marvel. What an interior design win. It looks disgusting. It looks terrible. I'm sick of this nostalgia porn. Just come up with better ideas. Yeah, I like this new setup because it means it's a step closer to shutting down. The CEO of Cracker Barrel is as woke as they come. Yeah, those are pretty woke glasses. It's just, oh, really? They support LGBTQ? Yeah, okay, so gay people like seed oils? Fantastic. Shut the whole thing down. Benny Johnson's tweeting about it. Jesus Christ. People, do you guys have jobs? I'm sorry, it's like, for me to say that is rich, but I'm just sitting here doing a podcast. Your front seat to the golden era. Yeah, I'm good. I think I used to follow him. Well, yeah, Maha is such a fake thing. All it happened is like Steak and Shake created beef tallow fries. I like Steak and Shake. Persian CEO. And they have a great Wisconsin butter burger, which I don't even know if it's still on the menu anymore, but I realize the tallow fries, I think there's like something fake about it. I don't even think it's all tallow. I think they just added tallow in there. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask Chat. Do Steak and Shake tallow fries now have 0 seed oils? However, they clarify that these items are currently par fried by suppliers using vegetable seed oils before freezing and shipping to the restaurants. Wait, what? So it's fake. By the way, this is the only win from Maha, from RFK Jr.'s new position in power, is that Steak and Shake, a brand that very few cities even have, no longer has seed oils in their fries, except they do. They're fried in seed oils and then they ship them to Steak and Shake and then they refry them in beef tallow, which probably has even more calories. And then Benny Johnson's like, yeah, say it louder for the people in the back. All it takes is just one Google search, one ChatGPT search, inquiry. Some customers and observers have raised Serious doubts about the chain's seed oil-free claims. A former food service professional on Reddit put it bluntly: their fries may taste better, they probably have less seed oil, but don't kid yourself that they're seed oil-free. Public commentary and articles also highlight concerns that the fries are still being pre-blanched in seed oils by suppliers, despite the final cooking being done in tallow. Yeah, they're not seed oil-free. It's incorrect. Should we just like go at them on Twitter? This shit really pisses me off. You know, I really should be spending my time more wisely, but don't lie to me. I don't want to be lied to. And don't pretend. You know, McDonald's doesn't pretend to be seed oil free. Eat more beef tallow. That's their banner. You guys are liars. Robert F. Kennedy hanging out at Steak and Shake. Get the fuck out of my face. Another Israeli shill. And another seed oil lie. It's a lie. Okay, let's see how many replies actually. Okay, so here's the post from Steak and Shake. The destruction of a great American brand continues. The current leadership team at Cracker Barrel is totally clueless. So some American flag X account, Alex Bruskowitz, is also upset about Cracker Barrel because of their logo change. You know, that's our biggest issue in the US, right? And then Steak and Shake quote tweets that and says, this is what happens when you have a board that does not respect their historical customers or their brand. Okay, so it's not enough that they're lying to us about the seed oils. They also have to like go at Cracker Barrel. What is this, like Kendrick versus Drake? You need to beef with what is it? Are they your competition? Not really. These are different demos, kind of, right? I guess maybe not, but at Steak and Shake, we have gone back to basics. Our tallow fries are waiting for you. Oh yeah, you can also now pay with Bitcoin. God, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Okay, finally, someone respond. Oh, this response, of course, doesn't have that many views, but it says, I mean, you've drastically changed the experience in your restaurants. No servers, orders at kiosks that only work half the time. Scan a barcode to fill up your soda. I like some of the changes you've made, but don't act like you've stayed entirely true to your roots. Yeah, Steak and Shake isn't what they were 6 years ago, much less 20. Yeah, it's not good. There was a Persian CEO that took Steak and Shake from like being about to fail to being not failing. So on one level, I have to be impressed by that. But at the end of the day, I'm after the truth here. And Steak and Shake, they are not serving us truly seed oil food. They are just lying to us. Let's hear.
Like what we're doing. I'll give you another. Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly.
Why is the CEO of Cracker Barrel on Good Morning America?
I actually happened to be in Orlando.
Stop with the Warby Parker glasses. It just invalidates whatever shitty thing is going to come out of your mouth.
Like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together.
She does not eat Cracker Barrel.
Every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
They just all...
It's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Just, they all make me sick.
For all the Cracker Barrel fans out there, there's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Robin?
Can I get in writing that the
he
peg
knows
game is going
it's a
to
lie.
stay?
The peg game is staying.
Okay.
So are the rocking chairs,
And the
fireplace, vintage decor. It's all there.
All right. Okay, because that would be a deal breaker. That would be a deal breaker.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelming.
Who gives a shit? What is this, the Mount Rushmore of the United States? Cracker Barrel? I'm disturbed. To say the least, I am disturbed. Of course, one of the replies, who's Evan Kilgore with 129,000 followers, American flag next to his name? Based. I think I'll try the tallow fries. They're not tallow fries. It's fake. Does anyone care about the truth? Well, I guess they sell tallow at their store. If the shit is pre-fried in seed oils and then you just fry it again, that's not I'm sorry to pay more attention to this than it deserves. It's just, don't eat at any of these places, by the way. Just don't. Although, you know, the Wisconsin Butterburger at Steak and Shake does go pretty hard. But still, try to avoid it. And Cracker Barrel, just no. No back then and no now. And no in the future. Go to Sweet Green. They actually have healthy food. Go to Chipotle. They actually have healthy food. Go to Chick-fil-A. Not necessarily healthy, but they have healthy options and the employees are fantastic and it's just the best fast food in the game. Go to In-N-Out. I support those businesses. Deeply upsetting. In lighter news, I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that there's a comet, which is like potentially an alien spacecraft that's heading towards Earth, and it's like changing its lights. So let's get into that. Comet heading toward Earth. Mystery object moving unusually towards Earth. Okay, can I play this video from NASA? If I can't, I'll just blur it and play the audio, but
just been discovered. 3I Atlas was discovered on July 1st by the NASA-funded Atlas survey. It was discovered using their
let's do a news one so they don't flag me though.
And it was first detected as a speck of light moving relative to background stars. We collected a good amount of data, more than 100 observations. We know its trajectory fairly well. We know it came from outside the solar system. Right now, it's inside the orbit of Jupiter and is headed for its closest pass to the Sun at the end of October. That's going to be barely inside the orbit of Mars, and then it's going to keep going on its way out of the solar system. From images, we also saw that this object is active, which means that around the nucleus there is some coma, which is an indication that this object is in fact a comet. Right now, it's hard to say how big this object is because being active, the brightness that we see is partially due to the size of the object, but also is partially due to the activity, and so we cannot really pinpoint the nucleus size directly. We have to better understand how active this object is, and then we can refine the size estimate and get a good idea. It's moving at a velocity of about 135,000 miles per hour, so it's going really fast. For that distance from the Sun, this is really exceptional. You have to be an interstellar object to be going that fast at that distance from the Sun. This object comes nowhere close to the Earth. It's going to make a pass close-ish to Mars at about 30 million kilometers or roughly 20 million miles from the red planet, but nowhere close to the Earth. It's not going to make a close approach, major close approach to any of the planets. So no risk.
That's not what I heard.
Just a scientific opportunity. The more data we get, the better we can measure the position of this object as it travels through the solar system and it moves.
The trajectory of this object is very
Avi
peculiar.
Loeb,
It
Harvard
actually
University
lies
astrophysicist.
in the
I've heard this guy
orbital
knows what he's
plane
talking about.
of the planets around the Sun, within 5 degrees or so. And that is a coincidence that has a chance of 0.2%. Think about driving your car. In 1 hour, you traverse a distance that this object is traversing in 1 second. The other unusual fact about its trajectory is that it comes very close to the inner planets other than Earth, like Jupiter, Mars, or Venus. And the chance of that happening, given the trajectory, one can change the arrival time of this object, and only in 20,000 cases you end up with such a close proximity to the planets because they orbit around the Sun, and the chance of being so close to them is very small. So the unusual trajectory of this object offers the possibility that it might have been designed so as to have some goals of a reconnaissance mission. So it's possible that it's a comet, but if that's the case, it will become very clear as it comes closer to the Sun and gets heated.
I'm sorry, I had to pause it because I just read that this man was in the IDF. Not to discredit what he's saying. I'm not saying everyone that's ever worked for the IDF is horrible, but you know, it's noteworthy. You just never know. It's like, what is this, a distraction from Gaza? Like, are you here to, but no, because NASA's saying it. Why do I trust them? I don't know. No, I mean, it's obviously this guy's brilliant. I'm not gonna discredit him. I mean, he was born in Israel. He doesn't really have a choice but to join the IDF. No, I mean, he's about his shit.
So that
Let's hear him out.
Evaporation
There's
rate,
also like, who's that Harari? Something Harari, great Israeli writer that wrote *Sapiens*.
gets much larger, and then the glow of dust and gas around it should be apparent.
It's irresponsible science. This is just coincidence, the path that it comes through the solar system. There's a perfectly natural explanation for this. It is behaving like a regular comet, and the comet is just one of these primordial building blocks of planets made of dust and ice, and when it gets closer to the sunlight warms up the ice, and then it goes directly from a solid to a gas and pushes the dust off. So this looks just like a normal comet. It's developing a little tail. It's getting brighter as it gets closer to the sun.
So then why would he be pushing
we know
this?
a few things about it, but everyone's intensively studying it with the hope that we get the final size of the body, and especially the chemistry, because that's what gives us a really good look at the processes going on elsewhere.
We are a relatively young technological civilization, and one can imagine a more advanced civilization having an agenda, some goals that are long-term in interstellar space, and therefore we might find probes that are still functional and are entering the solar system with a purpose. And the question is, what is that purpose?
Well, why are there these differences of opinions? Is there
Is Earth being watched by something not of this world? A Harvard scientist reignites debate by suggesting that an approaching interstellar object may not be a harmless comet, but an alien reconnaissance probe. Well, the mystery object is moving unusually and may hold
yes, it's all Avi Loeb
has seen before. Take a look at this next report for more details.
Is there anybody other than Avi Loeb talking about this, though? Because that other woman said that that's just normal and natural.
A profound cosmic intrigue now falls across our planet as a
if you guys have thoughts about this, I mean, let me know.
Through our solar system. Named 3I Atlas, this interstellar visitor has ignited a fiercely contested debate among scientists. Is it merely a natural comet? Or as some astronomers claims that it be something far more unsettling, a possibly hostile alien spacecraft approaching Earth?
The unusual trajectory of this object...
Yes. All right. Well, I wish Carl Sagan was here. I love, by the way, if you guys ever can't fall asleep and you kind of don't really want to watch an ambiance video and you're kind of over that, you should watch Carl Sagan's Cosmos. On YouTube. They're all on YouTube for free, and it is about the most calming and relaxing thing. Like when you get stressed about the starving children in your timeline or the Epstein files once again just not being released despite us being told it was going to be released, just watch Carl Sagan's Cosmos on YouTube. It is wonderful and eye-opening and fantastic. I'm starting to just have an issue with them saying Harvard professor believes this. It's like the more you learn about Harvard, the more you learn about Yale and Stanford and these like spook schools, the less inclined you are to just believe literally anything that comes out of their mouths. And it's unfortunate because this is the foremost American institution of education, and so much of what they do is incredible and far beyond what most schools are doing. But then you have these ulterior motives kind of woven into the entire structure of the institution. And you know, the fact that like Jared Kushner was able to get in and his brother, despite the fact that they didn't have the grades. And, you know, your dad can just donate a library there and then you get to go. And it's all just like one big networking whorehouse. And it's not really a school unless you're like a Chinese or Indian student that got in on their merits. And then it's like, well, what actual American kids got in based on the merits? And it's like, oh, well, then hold on, because we got to do diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then there's a bunch of people who didn't really have the grades, but they were like black or like whatever, or like, I don't know what races they're prioritizing or what ethnicities they're prioritizing necessarily. So it's just kind of like, at what point do we have to just say this isn't really an institution that deserves our respect anymore? And perhaps it never did, but I want to think that at one time it did. What's the endowment? What is an endowment? You know, it's all Skull and Bones and the secret societies. And if you watch The Social Network, I think it's a phenomenal movie. It's probably my favorite David Fincher movie, honestly. One of my favorite movies ever. Then you kind of see how some of it's a bunch of bullshit. But you know, what can you do? College in general has just been kind of obsolete. It's just, you kind of can't trust any of it anymore. And as far as the alien disclosures go, you know, I would love to believe that there is something out there, but I also can't help but think that we're just being bullshitted all the time. Like Anna Paulina Luna went on Joe Rogan and talked about how she believes there's otherworldly objects. And I was in shock and awe over that too. I was like, oh my God, holy shit. Like, you know, John and I did so many episodes on that, and you want to believe, like you want to think that there's real evidence out there that's pointing to that. But at the end of the day, there's no real evidence pointing to that. I'm not saying they're not out there. I believe they are out there. But we have yet to be shown any evidence. And then Trump goes on national television and goes, oh, yeah, I've seen it. It's nothing to worry about. Well, okay, then why can't you let us know what it is? Why can't we see a photo? Why is there David Grush just going and doing like a Congress hearing and giving us testimony? I don't want to hear it out of anybody's mouth. Show me a fucking picture. Show me an HD 4K alien spacecraft landing. If there are photos, give them to me. If there are not, I'm sick of hearing about it. I want to see evidence. I don't think that's so much to ask for. I think that's quite reasonable of an expectation to have when it comes to something so earth-shattering. No pun intended. But truly, this is the biggest story of all time, if it is in fact real. And for us to just like rely on somebody going on Rogan and saying like, yeah, well, I saw the testimony. We all saw testimony. Anna Paulina Luna, it's like, either you're buying into the BS or you're trying to deceive us and get people like curious and be like, ooh, she's so based. She believes in the aliens. Yeah, we all want to believe. If you have even remotely a worldview that is just a little bit, I don't know, broad and open to possibilities, and you're not pigeonholing yourself to some religious doctrine or to some almost too much of an atheistic doctrine, then you really want to believe that something might be out there. And it's a deep philosophical and existential question. And so I think a lot of people lean towards wanting to believe in that, especially when there's already at a baseline such a distrust in our government. But when there's no evidence that's been substantiated and shown to us, and we just have to like sit here and quibble over, what was that one couple? And we have to sit here and talk about abductions. And then you go on Tubi and it's just like 5,000 documentaries on this. And then there's Stephen Grush or what is his name? I don't know. The guy that's like a liar. There's not David Grush, the other guy, Stephen Greer. That's his name. It sucks. I want to believe too, but I have nothing to go off of other than that one video that's like the shit's going like this. I can't remember the name. The TikTok. And other than that, we don't really have any photos. And this is a day and age where if this were happening, we would be able to get some photos. If there were real abductions happening, I'm not saying there's not any spooky shit happening. You know, I'm open to all possibilities here. But I mean a real, legitimate abduction. If that is going on, I want concrete, hard evidence. I want a 4K photo. I want 1080 resolution. I need to see that. Otherwise, you don't get my weird blind support because you said so, because somebody in Congress showed you something, or maybe they didn't, or maybe they did and you're just a sucker. I'm not going to get behind that. And sorry, Avi Loeb, I want to believe you, but there's another person disputing what you're saying, and I need photos. I need evidence. Sorry. I know that's not what this particular thing is about. It's about a comet that they believe is an alien spacecraft, but, you know, he's been on this beat for a while, Avi Loeb, and I was always like, ooh, cool. But where is the evidence? Show me the money. What is this?
Ever confirmed to come from outside of our solar system.
News Nation. Ugh. I used to like News Nation for like 5 minutes, and I realized they're a joke too.
As one Harvard professor is raising the theory this may actually be a piece of alien technology.
I mean, to be a news reporter, having to feign enthusiasm about stories that you're just like the 18th person that day to do it. At least I don't have to feign any enthusiasm. I also don't make her paycheck, so hey, joke's on me, right?
And whether it has the potential to create risks in the future. Joining us now to discuss more is that scientist himself, Harvard professor.
Oh, here we go.
And author of
He's just doing the media rounds today, huh?
Life Beyond Earth. Avi Loeb, professor, it's always so good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
It's wonderful to see you, Natasha.
So, Professor Loeb, your recent paper suggests that this object might actually be alien technology rather than just another comet. What exactly about
I mean, it's like an SNL sketch. Your latest book is showing us that this might actually be alien technology. Like, she's so stoked.
Leads you to consider this as a possibility?
Well, first, it's relatively bright for its distance, implying that if it's a solid object, it has to be 20 kilometers in diameter. That's twice as big as the giant asteroid that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. And the previous objects we saw from interstellar space were only hundreds of meters in size. So there is just not enough rocky material in interstellar space to provide us with a 20-kilometer rock that appears once per decade. But more importantly, the trajectory is very unusual. It's aligned with the orbit of the Earth around the Sun, and the chance of that happening is 1 in 500. And then it also, the timing of its arrival is very fine-tuned because it comes very close to Jupiter, to Mars, and to Venus. And the chance of that happening is 1 in 20,000. And moreover, it's moving in the opposite direction to the motion of the Earth around the Sun. And when it will come closest to the Sun, the Earth would be on the opposite side. So we won't be able to observe it. That's the point in time when it can do a maneuver with the aid of the Sun's gravity. And that will happen on October 29th. And I already heard from a fan that he is trading options against the volatility of the markets, the stock market, with an expiration date because of the October 29th, because if it's alien tech, that would change the future in quite dramatic way. It will have a huge.
I mean, so many questions. So, I mean, if I have this correct, I believe you've proposed using a Richter scale before to assess such objects. A 0 means this is totally of natural origin. 10 means this is clearly engineered. Based on what we know about this object and what you're observing, what number would you give it now?
We don't have enough data. It depends how much.
Yeah. Hey, there it is. We don't have enough data. We don't, say louder, have enough data.
Orbit. The trajectory is extremely rare and fine-tuned. And depending on that, how much you assign to that, you will give a rank that is somewhere in the middle. It's difficult to assess at this time, but we will get, the good news is we'll get much more better data in the coming months. And the fun of doing science is that you can ask questions at first and then answer them with data. And we don't need to have an opinion, especially in a blind date like this one. All bets are off. This visitor came from interstellar space, and it's possible that, it targeted the inner solar system for a technological reason.
From what you're describing, this sounds like one of the worst blind dates potentially I've ever heard of. Do we have the capabilities right now to track, intercept, and even respond to something non-human entering our solar system as soon as October?
Well, it will be moving relative to Earth at nearly 100 kilometers.
Sorry, I'm just watching also the JD Vance and Gavin Newsom beef, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm kind of on Gavin Newsom's side because JD Vance has gravely disappointed me.
From Earth. However, I wrote a paper last week that there is actually a spacecraft that is orbiting Jupiter. It's called Juno, and it's at the end of its life. The plan was to send it straight into Jupiter in September 2025 because the mission has ended. But what I realized is that if instead of giving it a push so that it ends its life inside Jupiter, you give it a push away from Jupiter, if the push is sufficient, then it will actually intercept the orbit of 3I Atlas, this new object, in March 2026, when it will come very close to Jupiter. And on Tuesday this week, just a few days ago, I had a phone call from Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna.
Oh, there she is.
For an update about 3I Atlas. And
I don't trust these people.
and she wrote a letter to NASA.
I don't trust them at all. I don't trust him. I don't trust her.
2 days ago, in which she encourages NASA to look into the possibility of using Juno as a probe of 3I Atlas.
I really appreciate that update, and I hope you keep us updated on this as well. Professor Avilo.
So I don't know if you guys heard about this recent Israel
And if you want to hear more directly from Professor Avilo,
head of cybersecurity and what he got locked up for and then released for subsequently. And they let him go back to Israel after well, let's just play some of the video, shall we? Also, there's a CBS news story about how pedophiles hide from justice in Israel. 1.8 million views 5 years ago. This was put out, which just happens to correspond with this most recent story. It's just an CBS News did this story. You can't make it up. Arrested in Vegas. Breaking Points did a great segment on this. I want to see just like a regular news channel talk about it though and see if there's
controversy this afternoon and evening about an Israeli government official who left the country after an arrest for a sex crime. We thank you for joining us at 6.
Why was he allowed to leave? Oh yeah, the Trump administration intervened.
Investigator Kyle Payne tells us state law allowed him to pay his bail before ever seeing a judge.
An Israeli official reportedly back in Israel after being arrested here in southern Nevada on a sex crime. The question, not so much how did he get out of the country, as how did he get out of jail to begin with.
Acting United States Attorney Sigal Chattah taking to social media Monday night, saying, quote, a liberal district attorney and state court judge in Nevada failed to require an alleged child molester to surrender his passport, which allowed him to flee our country. In fact, that Israeli official, Tom Alexandrovich, who is upper management with the Israel National Cyber Directorate, in town for a cybersecurity conference, where police say he chatted online with a decoy who posed as a 15-year-old girl and never saw a judge, which, if you get arrested in or around Las Vegas, is business as usual.
That's the common practice set by the court.
District Attorney Steve Wolfson, who wouldn't address the acting U.S. Attorney's post at all, says Alexandrovich posted what's known as standard bail in this case paying the Henderson Justice Court $10,000, which is a number set by the state legislature for this particular sex crime.
That's it?
Which 7 other men were arrested as part of a sting that also resulted in the arrest of a local pastor. Wolfson pointing out
credit card interest is more.
Also paid the so-called standard bail.
And they were released upon the posting of that bail. So there was no court involvement. There was no prosecution involvement. This is the normal
So you can just do
practice.
that.
It is very standard in this community and many communities across the country.
District Attorney Wolfson
Absolutely
telling me it would
disgusting.
be normal in this case or many other cases for a defendant to send his or her attorney to court and not appear at the next hearing at all. Reporting at the Regional Justice Center, Kyle Payne.
Does it get more horrifying?
Now.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He'll have to come
They're
back to the
bombing
country and appear in court. The next
children.
hearing scheduled for
I
August
guess it
27th.
does.
The 8 News Now investigators have learned that this individual has hired high-profile criminal attorney David Chesnoff to represent him. Chesnoff telling the 8 News Now investigators in a statement in part, quote, "We intend on defending this matter within the justice system, not the media. People should not rush to judgment, and everyone is presumed innocent."
Rush to judgment.
It's an accusation because I represent this office.
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Point's is seemingly the only news site doing anything about it. I guess PBD talked about it. We love Breaking Points. Let's support them.
Situation
I do. It's my like primary news source.
The details of this are correct, but we have double and triple checked. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to this situation that unfolded in Las Vegas. I can scarcely believe that the details of this are correct, but we have double and triple checked. And yes, in fact, this all really did unfold. Let's put this up on the screen and shout out to, I'm actually not sure her full name, Mel. Her handle on Twitter is Village Crazy Lady. Yeah, she's done some really important reporting, not just here. So shout out to her for really breaking this down and highlighting this, bringing it to the forefront. So she tweets, the executive director of Israel's National Cyber Directorate was arrested this week in Las Vegas in a child predator ring sting. There were a number of other people who were arrested as well, I think 7 different individuals. So he gets arrested in this sting of trying to lure a child on a computer for sex acts. And then he's released and allowed to go back to Israel. Keep this up on the screen for just one moment. So you can see she has screenshots here. One from Ynet News, which is an Israeli publication, says U.S. detains worker from Israel's top cyber defense agency for questioning. The Prime Minister's office says the incident resolved quickly, ending with brief questioning of National Cyber Directorate staffer before his release. So that's the way they're
brief
spinning it.
questioning.
It's like, oh, he was just questioning. It was all fine. You've got the local news saying that all of these individuals, by the way, one of the other dudes in here was a pastor, a minister, so that's cool too. But he actually was arrested, apparently facing charges. They all face felony charges of luring a child with a computer for a sex act and were booked into the Henderson Detention Center, with the exception of one of the individuals who's booked into a different detention center. So again, all of them arrested and booked. You can see she also has this guy, Tom Alexandrovich, who was the executive director of Israel's National Cyber Director, which is a very important position, by the way. There you can see his Twitter profile, so you can see sort of, what his whole deal is. Let's put the next piece up on the screen with some more details reported out here by Mel. She says, just to clarify, she's got the arrest record here on the right. Okay, so again, rebutting the line of the Israeli Prime Minister's office saying, oh, he's just questioning he was released. No. Here he is, the arrest record, right there on the right of your screen. She says, number 1, Tom Alexandrovich was 100% charged.
This is I would say this is so insane, but I just did a quick search. This apparently happens a lot. Let's just look at like a couple other CBS mornings. This is CBS Mornings from 4 years ago story.
We have a follow-up on a CBS News investigation from last year.
And this is not to say that all of Israel is this, but it is to say that this is not an isolated incident.
To CBS this morning, we have a follow-up on a CBS News investigation from last year. It's a very disturbing issue. Child abuse suspects in this country.
It's like, hey, when you're not bombing kids, might as well diddle them, I guess. That's the ethos. It's horrifying.
After more than a decade in Israel, he is accused of molesting 2 female relatives. One of them was just 6 years old at the time. Ian Lee has investigated these cases for years.
My God.
Has had a major impact. He joins us now from London with more on this story. Ian, good morning to you.
Good morning, Gail. People like Kranzner
Does it get worse?
Called the law of return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship. Our investigation last year revealed how this loophole has allowed dozens of accused and convicted American pedophiles to flee there.
Jesus.
You know, he's 6'2", over 200. This was our stakeout in Israel in 2019. Looking for Jimmy Caro, an American wanted for sexually assaulting multiple children.
Yeah, that was him. That was definitely him. Oh my God.
Police arrested him after 20 years on the run. Did you assault the girl in the United States? No. Did you flee Israel because you assaulted the girl in the United States? Do you know that you're wanted by Interpol? Yeah. This arrest was for a rape in Israel.
Oh my God.
But our report broke the news of Caro's arrest to one of his alleged
Oh, he's walking around all week. He's doing the Harvey Weinstein walk.
How did you feel when you saw the video of police leading him away?
Thankful. Because at least I had that video to show me. I wanted to see that gotcha moment for so long. But also, I was even more angry because he denied what he did to me.
Casey and her twin Katie were just 9 years old when they met Caro at their neighborhood pool in Clackamas County, Oregon.
He would make jokes and start poking fun at us, playing games with us, and then touching us and grabbing us and getting us closer. And then he sexually abused me and my sister repeatedly.
What happened next when you went to the police?
I remember we had exams as children. I remember that we also had grand jury.
Caro fled before being indicted, but no one told Casey. For years, she thought he was locked up. Case closed.
I found his name on Clackamas County's Most Wanted.
That must have been a shock to you.
Yeah, very frustrating.
Do you feel let down by the authorities?
Yeah.
Casey then began her own search. It took another 7 years before she saw us follow Shauna Aronson and her team from the organization Jewish Community Watch track Caro down south of Tel Aviv. She immediately reached out to Shauna.
They were so grateful that there was somebody out there that had been looking for him and that actually that cared about this.
Soon after our investigation aired, Israel changed its policy, now requiring immigrating Americans.
Hold on. So they only respond to the press. Let's rewind that part because I think it's important. Soon after their investigation aired.
And that actually that cared about this.
Soon after our investigation aired, Israel changed its policy.
There you go.
Now requiring immigrating Americans to undergo FBI background checks.
This is why the media is really the fourth estate. It's the most important. It's basically the fourth branch of government, except it's obviously not in an official capacity. But that's why the First Amendment is so important. Free speech is so important. The ability to have unbiased press to the extent that you can is so important, and not to like, it's so important, but like it really is what makes this country different than other places. And that's why when you have certain controlling interests running all of media, or at least a large portion of it, it can become a huge conflict of interest and a huge kind of somewhat of an indirect assault on the Constitution and a loophole similar to this one to assault our Constitution. So good for CBS for actually talking about this. Although now CBS, I think, is like, Trump did something to get the CBS ownership changed, and I know he got Colbert fired, whose show I did not care for in the first place. But nevertheless, it's annoying that he has some say over the new CBS ownership, if that is exactly what happened. I might be misspeaking here, but anyways.
This was a really important step. Not enough to close all the holes, because there are so many people that can get through, through other ways and through other means, and there's certainly other efforts that are needed, but this was a very significant step.
A significant step to stop.
And good for the Israeli women that are talking about this, truly.
Was sentenced to 13 years in prison in Israel for
That's it?
raping a child.
13 years?
Casey and her
How do you not get the death penalty for something like that? I don't mean to be brash here, but
for what he allegedly did to them. And we reached out
I guess it
to
doesn't
the
even happen
district
here.
attorney in
Now, if this man worked for the Israeli government, he would just walk free. That's the difference. As evidenced by the most recent story of the head of their cybersecurity defense walking free after soliciting a minor for a sex act in Las Vegas that they tried to bury, and then the Trump administration stepped in and said, no, he's cool. He can go back.
Deal,
just a haven.
Do we know why he was walking with a limp?
Well, he had a medical condition, and this was actually crucial to finding out where he was going to be and able to arrest him. The Jewish Community Watch was able to learn that he was going to be at that hospital dealing with that issue, and that's when they were able to notify police.
All right, Ian Lee in London. Thank you, Ian.
A CBS News
I guess this was the original.
A loophole that allows accused and convicted American pedophiles to escape justice by moving to Israel. So Ian Lee has been following this for more than a year, and he traveled to Israel for this investigation. He worked with a group that tracks people accused of sex crimes, which estimates dozens of Americans have used this loophole.
Top comment. I love that we're all watching this in 2025. Release the files. Yes.
6'2". We are on a stakeout looking for this man.
Second top comment. I'm amazed that a corporate news outlet would even run this
48
story. I think I read that earlier.
Wanted on charges of sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon back in 2000 and a 5-year-old girl in Israel in 2001. He's considered dangerous. But these photos are a few years old, so we don't know if he'll look the same. He remains elusive. Previous attempts to capture him have failed.
Obviously, the fear that he would somehow figure out that anyone's looking for him and bolt. He just called his number.
Shauna Aronson got a tip that Caro's expected at this clinic near Tel Aviv.
Who's going to call the
She's
police
with JCW, Jewish Community Watch, an organization that hunts down accused pedophiles who flee to Israel from the U.S., exploiting a process called Law of Return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship. The ease with which pedophiles seem able to use this law as an escape route haunts victims like Mendy Hoff, who says he was abused from age 8 by a teacher at an Orthodox Jewish school in Los Angeles.
Horrible.
So your classroom is right here. How does it feel being back?
I was very anxious and, stressed coming back here. A lot of memories coming through my mind.
Memories of his alleged abuser, Mordechai Yomtov, who taught him Hebrew studies when he was just 8 years old.
So in the beginning, he would just rub me outside of my pants, and then I would say about 3 to 4 months later, he started going in.
Reaching down your
Yeah,
pants.
it's reaching down.
Why did you feel like you couldn't tell anyone?
I was scared. I was ashamed. I just didn't know what people would think of me with the whole situation.
Yomtov pled guilty in 2002 to sexually abusing and committing lewd acts against 3 other boys. He served jail time, but when he was released, he violated his probation and, according to JCW, fled to Israel with help from individuals within the Orthodox Jewish community. JCW tracked Yomtov down and confronted him with a hidden camera in Jerusalem,
hell yeah, let's
where he
go.
admitted to illegally fleeing the United States with help and using a fake passport to enter Israel.
I was supposed to stay for 5 years in the same city. I was supposed to, training on the side of sort of thing. I was supposed to go every 2 weeks to the police station. I left within a week later.
He had this message for his victims.
I'm very, very sorry.
The other person in this video is Meir Seawald, the founder of Jewish Community Watch. He tells CBS News Yomtov's case isn't uncommon in the Orthodox community.
The same thing that's going on in the Catholic Church right now around the world, the exact same thing happens in our community. The rabbis say it's, you know what, he promised he's going to go for therapy, he's never going to do it again. Boom, he's in another community. A few years later, he's at the same thing, and we hear more allegations that the person continued to abuse children.
And often, those abusers end up in Israel. Rabbi Yehuda Oppenheimer says he unwittingly helped Caro escape.
There was nothing
that raised any red flags up to the point where he was moving to Israel?
Well, I wish I could say that, but unfortunately I can't say that.
So then-
he had violated his parole, and now they were looking for him. He said that there was something in the past that had happened when he was young.
So you helped him anyway?
And nothing had ever happened since. I've changed and I'm a different person now, but you gotta help me. I felt that I could trust him. So
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? How do you even admit this?
He bought a ticket and he left.
Cairo is accused of abusing more children when he got to Israel. What was that like for you when you found that out?
You're complicit.
It was very painful.
Rabbi Oppenheimer says the reason he came forward is to shine a light on the process of accused pedophiles fleeing, to help ensure it doesn't happen again. Back at the stakeout, an ambulance pulls up and a man steps out.
Isn't there some sort of correspondence between the two governments when somebody enters a country from another that says, hey, here's the criminal record, if there is one, and maybe put them on a no-fly if that happens?
It's Cairo.
That was definitely him. Oh my God. Okay.
The police are called and eventually arrive. His days on the run are over as he's led away.
There's no
Did you
justice.
assault the girl in the United States? No. Did you flee Israel because you assaulted the girl in the United States? Have you ever assaulted any girls in Israel? Do you know that you're wanted by Interpol?
Yeah.
There's relief as police escort him to their car. This marks the end to a months-long manhunt.
Why are they helping him?
Oh my gosh.
Don't even help that man walk.
Can I give you a hug? I have something I need to tell you.
Bless these people for doing the right thing.
We found him, and he was just arrested.
Awesome.
He
Lock
was
this
just
man up.
arrested.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You might
Amuna, not her real name, is the person on the other end of the line. She was a little girl when Cairo entered her life.
I was 4 or 5 years old. My mother was on bed rest. My father's a rabbi, so he wasn't really home. He used to come to our house. We used to play games, and then it became sexual. I'm going to give you a cookie because you do it so nicely. It's all about the cookie. It's all about lying, and it's all about being so evil to a little child. He also threatened me he would kill my parents, he would choke me, he would hurt me, he would kidnap me.
I don't know
How
that I
did
can even
that
air this.
affect you?
This is supposed to be like a light comedy show. You know, yeah. I'd like to talk about the groundhog and Scout, the Pomeranian puppy, because this is just, we're already 6 minutes in. Jesus Christ. I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm beside myself.
My whole life is around this sexual abuse and rape.
Amuna turned to therapy and art to help deal with the trauma.
This is in my bedroom and my inspiration.
She paints and writes poetry, but she's still angry that it was allowed to happen in the first place. What are your thoughts on him being able to come to Israel and flee the United States?
It brings up a lot of anger and
Donna says the failure begins in the U.S. Why would someone want to help
Why is the U.S.? Yeah, why is the U.S. not doing anything?
these pedophiles escape?
Oftentimes, there's some sort of community incentive. Either somebody owes them a favor, or someone in the community, let's say an institution, has covered up for them in the past, and they know that if this goes to court, there's a lot of civil liability coming down the line, you know, and it's going to cost a lot of money to a lot of people, and nobody wants to deal with that.
Shauna accuses the Israeli police of not prioritizing accused pedophiles on the run.
Yeah, you don't say.
Be the ones that do this.
Because nobody else is. That's really, I don't have any better answer than that.
God bless this
And
woman.
if you guys weren't doing it,
Then nobody would do it.
Israeli police told CBS News that, quote, the police coordinate closely with the Ministry of Justice and worldwide police organizations.
Well, if you look at what the Israeli police don't do about the settlements, illegal settlements in the West Bank, and the crimes against the Palestinian people and the Arab population there, it's just, it's unfortunate to say it's not a surprise here.
Mordechai Yomtov remains at large. The district
Mordechai
attorney here in
Yom Tov.
Los Angeles told us they have not requested Yom Tov's extradition and that they had no other comment. Jewish Community Watch says that is the problem. If American officials don't try to get accused pedophiles from Israel, then they simply escape justice and leave children at risk.
Yeah, this is bad.
Declined to comment on specific cases.
America is
Praised
being
the relationship
infiltrated
with Israel's law
in
enforcement,
so
adding
many
sex offenders
ways.
have been successfully extradited in the past. Days after Cairo's arrest, Amuna confronted him at an Israeli police station.
I was scared. It was good. It was good to confront him. It was important for me to have that closure in my life.
The healing process will continue for Amuna, but for many, like Mendy, the lack of justice means the pain continues.
Poor little boy.
So there are two things JCW says could help close this pathway. First, better background checks on people moving to Israel. And second, more willingness from U.S. authorities to pursue the accused.
Yeah.
So it certainly seems like law enforcement, both here and in Israel, are sort of busy patting themselves on the back on how well they cooperate with one another. But Jewish Community Watch seems to be doing most of that grunt work, that on-the-ground investigating. Why do they say, the group, why do they say more pedophiles aren't being apprehended?
So it's very complicated when you leave the United States and go to Israel. First, they say that once these people are wanted, that they need to go to Interpol and have that international arrest warrant put out for them so that the Israeli authorities can then start looking for them.
If we're so close, to Israel and Israel's so close to us, then there should just be this line of communication open of like, okay, he's a pedo, whatever countries he's in, throw him in the slammer, like forever. What?
Manpower to really pursue them. And then when you get to the Israeli side, JCW says that they need to be doing more background checks on these people. Sometimes a simple Google search will bring up, especially if it's an Interpol arrest warrant, will bring that up, and so that they can then know this person is dangerous, they should not be let in.
Yeah.
Or if there is an arrest warrant out for them, that they need to go and pick them up. And JCW says that there just isn't the priority to go and pick these people up.
How is this not a priority? It's the utmost priority.
Have the resources there to go and look for these people as well. So it really does fall on JCW to track them from the United States to Israel.
That's unbelievable. Does JCW also sort of believe that aside from law enforcement, there are sort of other elements of the community that need to work on this?
Yeah, and that's another big part of this, is that a lot of the times these people have help. And help within the community, people that help them flee to Israel, sometimes as...
If you're helping someone like that, you are as bad as they are, truly.
With Yom Tov, he had help, according to JCW, to flee the country through Mexico and then get a passport, a fake passport there to immigrate to Israel. So
These are elaborate schemes.
They are, and they need a lot of people to pull off. And they say that there needs to be a conversation.
Those people should go to prison.
About not
Let me take it a step further.
And that's where it's so important to have Rabbi Oppenheimer,
If you're endangering children's lives,
talk about this and say, this
you
is
get
something that is happening.
no
and
grace,
we need to address this,
no
and,
sympathy.
And he said, the one important thing is if someone comes to you, don't be so trusting. Look into their background, especially if there's someone who wants to immigrate very quickly. Take some time to make sure this isn't a person who's trying to flee justice.
Yeah, he was a really good element to your story because sometimes, it's not everyone's bad. They're good people just trying to help out, and they find themselves sort of caught up in a bad situation.
Exactly.
Hey, Ian, it's really nice having you here, too. Thank you.
Great to be here. Thank you.
All right.
No, I'm not that nice. I think that person is bad for helping him. You don't hear that this is what a person did and like, oh, but he's sorry. What? I don't care. If you're sorry, you're a threat, you're dangerous, you could put other kids' lives at risk. It's over for you. Oh, God. I don't want to go down the serial killer, rabbit hole or like anything adjacent to that, which is like the sex crimes and all of that. It's just horrible. Let's just do some groundhog videos, like a little palate cleanser before we get out of here, right? Like, let's just like look at a sweet little groundhog because, oh, he's eating a little rabbit, or he's eating not a rabbit. Oh my God, he's eating a little apple. What is he eating there? Is that like a guava? Are you eating a little guava? Aw. I really love groundhogs. They are so sweet. They're so serious. Look at him. He's so about his business. Just a man about town. I love him. A little apple core. Oh my god. Is he nuzzling his little groundhog friend? This is so cute. Eating a strawberry. Stop it. I love the one that comes and eats in front of my spot. Look at this carrot. That's the biggest carrot I've ever seen. Or maybe it's the groundhog that's so little. It's like a sword. Oh my god. This is the greatest video I've ever seen. Just groundhog is eating fruit and veggies. Put it in my veins. Their little buck teeth. I can't. Oh, I want one. Groundhogs, sea otters, chipmunks, guinea pigs, porcupines. Oh my god, a groundhog eating a broccoli? He's eating a little broccoli. Oh god, they're so cute. I think groundhogs are also called woodchucks. And they live underground. You know, they really are groundhogs. I'm like telling you that as though that's not self-explanatory. Look at him with his little hands like this. Ah! I die. So cute. So cute. This is perfect palate cleanser and a perfect way to exit that nightmare of a previous video. So also, guys, I am on a good release schedule now, okay? I am being consistent. I think I'm going to do some raw time with Tiffany on the next one, although sad that John's not here for that because that was our thing. Raw time. But you guys have been requesting it, so it will be coming back. We'll do raw time with Tiffany. I might see if I can like reach out to her. I also still really would like to get Chet Hanks on here. So if you guys can like hit up Chet Hanks and be like, hey, you need to do the Ida Hour. Oh my god, is it eating a little green tomato? Love that. I love this. I don't know how he's how are they foraging all these different fruits? Is that a Roma slicer tomato? These are like fat and healthy boys. I'm currently growing tomatoes, mint, basil, citronella to keep the mosquitoes away. And what else am I growing? All different varieties of mint and basil. And I'm getting a little green thumb and cherry tomatoes and big tomatoes. Look at that. Oh, don't eat those green ones because they're gonna upset your stomach, little baby boy. Although I love like a not yet ripe fruit when it's like not really reached its sugar capacity. That's like crunchier and more tart. I like that better. 2 million views. Chunk's greatest moments of season 1. So cute. Oh, these groundhogs have names. Happy New Year from Chunk and Nibbles. Please enjoy this year in review of Chunk and Nibbles' memorable moments. So lovely. I love it. I love it. Oh, so wait, what's a marmot though? Like in comparison. We love that font. Oh, so cute. Wait, what is the difference between a marmot and a groundhog? Oh my god, it's so cute. It's eating a watermelon? Oh my god, so excited. Okay, so the tea is a groundhog is a type of marmot. The scientific name is a Marmota monax for groundhog, also called a woodchuck. But a general marmot, there's about 15 different species. So groundhog is smaller than most other marmots. It's about 4 to 14 pounds. They live in lower elevations, often in fields, woods, and suburban yards, known for digging extensive burrows and for Groundhog Day fame. Obviously, if you don't know Punxsutawney Phil, I might have to do an entire Groundhog Day Punxsutawney Phil dedicated video because sweet little baby marmot. I love this little boy. But look, just that like the pomp and circumstance around Groundhog Day every year and Punxsutawney Phil is truly, it's a celebration. And so they live stream this every year on February 2nd. And I watch it every time. And when he sees his own shadow, and obviously like they'll keep a groundhog for a few years, but then after a little while, they have to put him out of commission and put a new one in because, you know, they don't have that long of lifespans, I don't think. How often do they swap out new Groundhog Day Phils? So groundhog is one specific type of marmot. Marmot is a broader group, usually bigger, more social, often found in the mountains. The lore around Punxsutawney Phil. The lore is that there's only one Punxsutawney Phil. Obviously, that's not true. They live about 6 to 8 years in the wild, so the current Phil is almost certainly not the same groundhog from a century ago. Yeah, thanks, chat. I understood that, but there's no set rule or disclosed timing for swapping out the groundhog. While Phil is said to be one and only immortal creature, it's widely understood by wildlife experts that the groundhog is periodically replaced when needed due to age, health, or well-being. Any such replacement is done quietly, and the mystique of Punxsutawney Phil being centuries old is preserved through tradition. Yeah, so this festival happens every year. I actually used to talk to this girl called Glam and Gore. She's got like a huge YouTube channel on Twitter because she's from this like town, I think, in Pennsylvania, and she's just like, oh my God, it's so annoying. Why is everyone so into it? I'm like, I watch it every year. It's a tradition for me. I love Punxsutawney Phil. I want to go to this festival so badly. I'd be so happy. You have to wake up at the crack of dawn. I mean, if you've seen Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, that's what the whole movie's about. Look at him. I love the way they hold him like he's Simba. So cute. I go crazy for this. I go nuts for this. Sometimes I watch these videos to fall asleep. So this man in particular that's holding up Punxsutawney, he's kind of always leading the festival. I can't remember his name. I did know his name for a time. The man with the beard. He always holds up the groundhog every year. Oh, they're petting him. He's so sweet. Okay, let's see if he sees a shadow, and then I'm really gonna get out of here, I promise. You came here for the pedo sting operation. You stayed for the groundhog. Oh, is it 6 more weeks of winter? Damn. You're so cute. I mean, they're such little cuddle bears. I want one so badly. He's a tank too, this one. He's a unit. I love the scroll they get out. And I love that they, hear ye. They really dress like it's the 1800s. The seer of seers. The prognosticator of all prognosticators.
Directed the president to the proper scroll, which reads, what a way to start a Sunday.
He's so chill and calm too. I think they really love this handler in particular. He's really good.
To this place, barely big enough to contain you, to this sweet country.
I wish they would pan the camera around so you can see how big this crowd is. It's obscene how many people show up to this. I love it. I would love to go to Gobbler's Knob and be a part of this. It's been a lifelong dream. You can't trust AI. I miss my burrow. I miss my coop.
Headed back down. There's a shadow up here. Get ready for 6 more weeks of winter.
Well, they're upset, but they have to respect the prognosticator of all prognosticators and the seer of all seers, Punxsutawney Phil. It's unfortunate. Sometimes it is that way. It is 6 more weeks of winter. It's not Phil's fault that he saw his shadow. So sweet. I love the way he pets him, and the groundhog is so sweet and chill. One day we have to come back and like look at the actual history of Groundhog Day, because it really is such a marvel. Such a beautiful American tradition. The top hats, the suits, Gobbler's Knob, Pennsylvania, the crack of dawn, the anticipation of like winter or finally a little break of summer, because in the East Coast, you know, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because winter is a bitch out in the East Coast. It is no joke, folks. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being here. I believe I'm going to do a free tier on Patreon for just sometimes episodes. So that people that can't pay or don't want to pay or whatever, but you want a little extra something, you can come on by and still be a part of the crew. I think there's a little group chat I started in there. So join the group chat. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have you guys in a little group. I think that'd be fun. And why not use all of the available features and talk amongst ourselves? I think that'd be great. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this concludes this episode. There was something I was going to tell you, but I can't remember. So you're just going to have to come back. That's just the tea. That's just what that is. Okay. All right. Good night.